Emily Parker had always imagined marrying the man she adored and being embraced wholeheartedly by his family. Growing up in a quiet Ohio town, she often pictured lively family dinners, warm laughter, and relatives who supported one another, a life where love held everything together. When she met Michael Anderson at a college event, a spark lit inside her, one she couldn't brush aside. Michael was thoughtful, charming, and sincere. As time passed, their friendship deepened into a steady, comforting love. After a year of being together, Michael proposed on a cool autumn evening in a park blanketed with golden leaves. Emily's heart lifted the moment she said yes, and soon the wedding preparations began. She adored Michael, yet she also felt a flutter of nerves about meeting his family, especially his mother, Grace. Grace Anderson was a woman Michael always spoke of with tenderness. A retired school librarian, she was admired in their community for her kindness and her welcoming nature. Emily had heard endless stories from Michael about the cozy dinners, the garden Grace nurtured so carefully, and the holiday pies she baked with love. Though Emily had met Grace only a handful of times before the wedding, she felt hopeful about becoming part of such a warm family. Their wedding day was lovely and intimate, with close friends and relatives gathered beneath a clear blue sky. After the ceremony, Grace held Emily's hands and looked deeply into her eyes. "We are so happy to have you in our family, Emily. Michael is lucky to have found you," Grace said with a heartfelt smile. Emily felt a surprising sense of belonging she hadn't expected. In the early months of marriage, Emily found herself swept into the rush of beginning her career and creating a home with Michael. Emily had recently secured a job as a graphic designer at a local marketing firm, a role she took pride in, though it demanded long hours and constant creativity under pressure. Michael, who taught history at a high school, worked hard as well, but his schedule was far more predictable. Despite both being busy, they always made room for family time. Emily and Michael would often head to Grace's home for Sunday dinners, where Grace's cooking felt like a comforting embrace after a long week. Their conversations flowed easily, filled with genuine laughter, and Emily found herself valuing Grace not just as a mother-in-law, but as someone she could truly rely on. But as the months slipped by, Emily began to feel the weight of managing everything at once. Deadlines continued stacking up at work, and returning home to chores and errands started to feel overwhelming. She longed for even a small moment to herself, to rest, to read, to simply exist without responsibilities crowding her mind. Michael spotted the weariness in Emily's expression one evening. As they sat together on their small couch, "You look tired," he said softly. "I am," Emily confessed. "I feel like I'm running on fumes. Between work and the house, I barely get a chance to breathe." Michael took her hand gently. "Maybe you should take a day off. Visit your mom or Grace. Just relax for a bit." Emily nodded, though uncertainty tugged at her. She didn't want to impose on anyone, and some part of her felt guilty for wanting time solely for herself. One Saturday morning, Emily finally decided to visit Grace. She called ahead to let her know she'd be stopping by. Grace answered with her familiar warmth. "Emily, come by anytime. We'll have lunch together," she said happily. When Emily arrived, Grace greeted her with a tight, affectionate hug. "You look like you could use a break," Grace remarked gently. Emily exhaled deeply, sinking into the cozy. Emily sank into the soft living room couch, letting out a weary breath. "I just feel so drained. I want to relax, but I don't even know where to start." Grace offered a knowing smile. "I think I might have an idea. Come with me." She guided Emily to the sunroom, a warm, inviting space filled with greenery and soft cushions. In one corner stood a small table arranged with candles, essential oils, and neatly folded towels. "I put together a little spa corner," Grace said gently. "You deserve a bit of pampering." Emily's heart tightened with emotion. She hadn't expected such tenderness. That afternoon, Emily allowed herself to unwind in a warm bath infused with lavender and chamomile oils. The stillness settled over her, easing every tight muscle as she let go of the stress she'd been carrying. When she stepped out, she slipped into a plush robe Grace had set aside for her and curled up in an armchair with a book she hadn't touched in weeks. Grace brought her a cup of herbal tea, and the two of them spent hours talking about life, future hopes, and the small joys that made each day meaningful. For the first time in ages, Emily felt completely renewed. In the weeks that followed, Grace continued to offer Emily little moments of comfort, inviting her over for peaceful afternoons, sharing warm homemade dishes, and reminding her to slow down and breathe. Emily soon realized she hadn't been longing for anything extravagant. What she truly needed was simple kindness and understanding. Her bond with Grace grew stronger, rooted in mutual respect and genuine affection. Emily discovered that family wasn't defined solely by blood, but by the love and support that kept one grounded. She felt grateful to have gained not just a mother-in-law, but a second mother who offered her exactly what her soul had been craving: a place to rest, restore, and feel deeply cared for.